living somewhere else doesn't solve your problems, as it turns out. In fact, it can actually make them worse. And obviously, to some degree, I'm speaking from experience. But I wanted to bring this up because some of my friends are saying that they want to move abroad to escape the West and the collapse of civilization. And maybe they're not wrong. I'm not here to tell you that they're wrong. But I would like to give a few of my a few pieces of insight on what it's like to move abroad, at least in the first 6 months, and what your impressions might be. Now, it's going to vary country to country, but it's still, I find that before I came here, I had a very much an ideal version of what it was going to be, and I knew that some of my expectations were going to be subverted, but not particularly the ones that eventually were. So what ends up being important to everybody at the end of the day, the most important aspect of all of our lives is it's our health, our mental health, our physical health, our worldview, etc. And if your worldview is not straight, or if your worldview is very negative, and you kind of attribute that negative worldview to where you live, then I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't really matter where you live. You're living with a negative worldview, and you're going to project that onto your immediate environment. And so there are beautiful things about living in Japan that I can go into. I mean, one of the things that I actually very much appreciate about living here is the convenience. Japan is extremely convenient. I mean, like the convenience stores, you can look this up on Google, it's called a konbini, as they say, which is like the Japanese convenience store. And I'm not going to get into the details, but look, I like aspects such as that. Then there are things such as like my own mental health, which doesn't really change unless I make an active effort. It's not the responsibility of the environment. It's not the responsibility of the people around you to change how you see the world. Ultimately, it's all here. And where that can be terrifying is you're abroad. Your family is nowhere near to be found. I mean, you can, I guess, call them on FaceTime or something, but like, now you've gone abroad because you wanted to fix your problems, but it turns out that they weren't fixed. Now you're far away from home. You might be a little scared, and things just aren't that great. It does get a little bit better, but I felt like I personally was left with a choice in my first few months. It's like either I go home and I say, screw this, I can't do it, or I commit to it and recognize that there are consequences to moving far away. And among those cons, those negatives to moving abroad, I'm going to reap the benefits of the positives. And I feel like I have so far. It's just what I truly have learned is to stop romanticizing other places, that which I am, the places where I am currently not, to escape my problems. You know, I was guilty of this for many years, but I love France. I love France way too much. I mean, I drink French wine to remind myself of my study abroad. I'm fluent in the language, and I know a fair bit of French history. But when I actually was in France last year, I still felt, depressed from time to time. My own mental health was getting to me. And it ultimately comes down to, like, you are all of the happiness, all of the good stuff comes from within. And it's not any external thing, any person's responsibility to make you happy. And that's like, it's just such a hard lesson to learn. And sometimes I wonder if it's even really worth speaking about things like this, because putting it into language it doesn't do a justice to actually experiencing the topic, the thing at hand itself, for yourself. I'm bringing this up now, that if you, for whatever reason, think that like moving out of your parents' house is going to make you feel better, or moving to a different city, to a different country, someplace different from where you are currently, I hate to break it to you, but it's not true. You can start now. Like exercise, read good books. Like, I swear to God, A Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday has been like one of the smartest decisions I think I took in a long time. And I don't mean to make a big fuss over self-improvement, but yeah, it's all about the now. So when you're going outside in your neighborhood and you're like, crap, this place sucks, I hate it, there's nothing to do. It's not the location. I don't think it's the location. I think it's more you, and it also maybe friends play a little bit of a part in that. I worry about a lot of people who say that they're going to move abroad now, because it's a very difficult decision to make, and once you've committed to it, those of you who are introverted and anxious will quickly look back in hindsight and go like, no, actually it was better before. It's like, well, is it really? This could just be the beginning of the adventure. The adventure is calling to you, and maybe you're far away, but the location obviously is not important. But now that you are out of your comfort zone, now that you are faced with a challenge that you can prove yourself with, I'd say, go for it. Just keep in mind that if you do make that decision to move abroad or move anywhere, it's not the location which will make you happy. And you start now. You start internally, and then you go elsewhere. So, not to belabor the point, but please, for all of you folks who feel a little lost and are unsure of yourselves because of your current location, it's not the location, it's you. And I guess that's about all I have to say.